World leaders are always in the public eye when they can't please everyone. That's why they need protection. Keep watching to see which world leaders spend millions on their security. We'd be hard-pressed to find a more widely hated person than Vladimir Putin. He probably knows this, and that's why he's so particular about his security. To protect himself from assassins and coup plots, Putin has set himself up with an extremely well-trained security detail. His bodyguards carry bulletproof briefcases and high-powered pistols, and he uses stand-ins and food tasters to avoid attempted violence and poison. We expect nothing less from a former member of the KGB. It's unknown exactly how much Putin pays for this level of protection. However, the cost of one personal bodyguard per year in the world averages around $100,000. If you multiply that for each of Putin's bodyguards and add the cost of travel and weapons, it's most likely to be in the millions. Not to mention, back in the 90s, Putin seized hectares of land from chicken farmers and divvied it amongst his personal security as a reward for their loyalty. No better way to ensure safety than to bribe your security with land and wealth. His interest in his own well-being borders on obsessive, which is no surprise. However, the tradition of paranoid Russian leaders dates back all the way to 1881. Tsar Alexander III surrounded himself with guards following the assassination of his father by a bomb-throwing revolutionary. Putin's bodyguards call themselves the Musketeers. They make up a special unit within Russia's Federal Protection Service, or the FSO. They are hand-picked for qualities like physical stamina, ability to withstand cold, and not sweat in heat. Are they robots? In addition to being well-armed, the teams are also very thorough in their preparation. Before Putin travels, advanced teams scout out his destinations months ahead of time to see how the public will react to him. They also check to see if the area could be affected by bad weather or natural disasters. Everywhere he goes gets inspected, and jamming devices are installed to prevent remote detonations of bombs. Technicians conduct electronic surveillance of cell phones and other devices in the area. When he's on the road, Putin rides in a convoy of heavily armoured vans that carry military special operators armed with AK-47s, anti-tank grenade launchers, and portable anti-aircraft missiles. And when he steps out in public, 4 rings of security surround him. From centre out, the order goes personal bodyguards, others hidden in the crowd, more ringing the perimeter, and snipers perched on the surrounding rooftops. Basically, you'd have to be Rambo to take out Putin by force. Some might say the best way to protect yourself is to hide. Kim-Jong-Un is perfectly good at hiding, but he also doubles down with an elite security team. Much like anything else he does, it's unknown exactly how much money the leader of North Korea spends on his security. But it's surely somewhere in the millions. Like we said, Kim Jong-un is very secretive. However, during a visit to Singapore, his quirky security measures were revealed. His bodyguards run alongside his car. It said he got the idea for a human shield from Clint Eastwood. When he was a boy, he saw the movie In the Line of Fire, where Eastwood plays a Secret Service agent during the JFK assassination. Eastwood's character and other agents run alongside the vehicle, and rationally, we guess it doesn't hurt to have one more line of defense. One of Kim's father's bodyguards revealed that it's extremely difficult to become a bodyguard for Kim Jong-un. Recruits are chosen from the military and must pass several tests to judge their health, eyesight, looks, personality, and family background. They must have excellent political credentials and come from only the most loyal classes. They have to be around the same height as Kim, and they are the only people allowed to carry firearms near him. Understandably, they have to be good marksmen. It wouldn't do any good to give them guns if they weren't. After shooting, they need to be good at taekwondo, throwing knives, swimming, and marching. Having skills is the first priority. Serving Kim Jong-un with loyalty is the second, third, and fourth priority. These guards are armed, but usually resolve conflict using observation and non-lethal methods. They're part of the larger Supreme Guard Command, which is a force of about 100,000 that deal with security threats. Some of their more extraordinary measures include taste testing food and toting around his personal toilet so no one can test his DNA for health information. Donald Trump is known around the world for ruffling some feathers. For that reason, he presents a very expensive security risk. For a year of security, he and his family cost $29 million. In comparison, guarding Barack Obama and his family for a year cost around $16 million. In 2017, the US Congress set aside $120 million for the president and his family's protection for a year. That's a lot of money to make sure a person is safe. So what's it paying for? The Secret Service, who are tasked with protecting the president, are a force of over 7,000 members. They are organised and ready to respond to any crisis that threatens the president. This organisation has been in place since 1901, after the assassination of President William McKinley. Every agent spends 11 weeks training basic police skills. These include law, firearms training, defence tactics, and report writing. Then agents are moved to Washington, D.C. for an additional 16 weeks of training. There they learn how to detect counterfeit money and credit fraud, physical protection, and advanced driving. They continue to train their entire career. Each agent carries a firearm, handcuffs, and a radio to maintain contact with each other. They're also issued with bullet-resistant vests. The president is transported in an armoured Cadillac with bulletproof glass and extra thick material around the car. Even though Trump left office in 2020, he and his wife Melania are entitled to Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives. Although there's no statistics to back this up, Xi Jinping, the president of China, is said to have the most assassination attempts of anyone in the world. We don't think that's a record anyone wants, but he might have it. In any case, that goes a long way to explain why China's defense budget for 2021 was $209.16 billion. Well, that and the fact that China is the world's most populated and most oppressed country. The president's personal security is handled by the Central Security Bureau. They're very secretive about their internal functions. His security is a big undertaking. For a visit to Hong Kong, Jinping had more than a third of the Hong Kong police force there to protect him from angry citizens. There was also multiple helicopters hovering overhead and police barricades lining the streets. The authorities even glued the gaps between the sidewalk paving stones in an effort to prevent them from being torn up and thrown by protesters. And the police commissioner said any use of drones near the president would be considered an act of terror. Other than all of that, it was a pretty routine visit. Another slightly secretive world leader with plenty of security is Mohamed Bin Salman, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. In addition to being a royal and one of the richest people in the world, MBS is also the country's Deputy Prime Minister, head of the Council for Economic and Development Affairs, and Minister of Defence. That's a lot of power for one person, which requires a lot of protection. He has invested over $20 billion in military equipment for the last 2 years. The prince's military and security agencies are comprised of a 1,000-person strong security team that is charged with his protection. He has obviously provided them with plenty of firepower. A team is always present to protect MBS everywhere he goes. He and his father, King Salman, have even been known to travel with more than 100 security guards. Their typical entourage has over 1,000 people. With that big a group, trying to attack MBS would be like playing a violent game of Where's Waldo. Queen Elizabeth II, along with other senior royals like Prince Charles and Prince William, received 24/7 security paid for by the UK government treasury. The exact amount she spends on security is unknown. However, it's reported that Prince William's security costs around $600,000 per year. It stands to reason that Her Majesty's personal security, in combination with palace security, costs somewhere above $1 million a year. Royals have always and will always present quite a large target for criminal behaviour. Queen Elizabeth II is no exception. Her protection consists of a team of bodyguards that protect her around the clock. Buckingham Palace has its own police station should anything nefarious happen while the Queen is at home. She also has a personal security team called Scotland Yard's Royalty Protection Group, formed in 1983. These guards are armed with 9mm Glock 17 pistols, a radio, and a first aid kit. The senior police officers, with 10 to 15 years of experience, are trained in firearms, unarmed combat, advanced driving, and emergency first aid. They also know basics like walking in formation and overseas work. It's estimated that there are over 185 SAS-trained officers, but the exact number is kept secret for security purposes. One particularly funny aspect of the Queen's security detail is her code name. It's reported that a royal aide who was doing recon was overheard referring to Her Majesty as Sharon. In written communications, protection officers refer to her as S, which is thought to be short for sovereign. However, to protect her identity, her security refers to her as Sharon. It's a common tactic with world leaders. Barack Obama was renegade and Donald Trump was mogul. Pope Francis may not be a president, but he's still very important as a leader of the Catholic Church, and as such, he is one of the most protected people in the world. Pope Francis' security detail is the Pontifical Swiss Guard, an armed security service. As of March 2022, $42.5 million has been allocated towards this group. Pope Julius II gave the order for it to be established over 500 years ago. They act as the Pope's first line of defense. The Swiss Guard employs some of the most modern weapons technology in the world, and devout Catholics or not, they are devoted to safeguarding Pope Francis at all costs, making him the world's most well-protected religious leader. Maybe that's why he feels so comfortable standing up in a convertible during parades. It's interesting to see the different amounts of security world leaders need. It's even crazier to see how much it costs. In 2020, the world military and defense expenditure was just under $2 trillion.